84 strikes. 3 hours. One little brown bottle from the baking aisle that cost me $2.49. I was fishing Pickwick Lake on the Tennessee River last September, running a side-by-side test. Same spot, same rig, same hook, same cut bait. One bait soaked overnight in this kitchen liquid. One straight out of the package. 31 hits on the plain one. 84 on the soaked one. Same water, same current, same 3 hours. The liquid? Pure anise extract. The same thing sitting in your grandma's spice cabinet right next to the vanilla, waiting for Christmas cookie season. Old Cajun fishermen down in the Louisiana bayous have been doing this since before fishing licenses even existed. It just got buried when the tackle industry showed up with prettier bottles and better marketing. If it's your first time here, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm not gonna let the next one slip by you. 3 weeks before that Pickwick trip, I stopped into a small bait shop outside Memphis and got talking to an 81-year-old man named Earl. Commercial fisherman his whole life. Worked the Mississippi from his 20s until his knees gave out, then started guiding on the river until he couldn't do that anymore either. I asked him flat out, "What was your biggest edge back then?" He didn't think about it for a second. "Anise water," he said. "Soak everything in it. Night crawlers, cut shad, chicken liver, didn't matter. Fish hit that smell like they lost their minds." I honestly wrote it off at first. Figured it was nostalgia. Then I started poking around and found a guide named Rick, who works Truman Lake out in central Missouri. He told me he'd been using anise-soaked cut bait during the brutal summer heat when the bite died for everyone else. And he was still pulling limits of channel cats and blue cats, consistent, every trip. Down in the Louisiana bayous, the old Cajun guides carried anise extract in their tackle boxes the same way guys today carry power bait. Along the Mississippi Delta, the old commercial fishermen passed it down from father to son, same as you'd pass down a good rod. You didn't tell outsiders. That was the rule. Then, the synthetic attractant market hit. Berkeley, Procure, Smelly Jelly, 20, 30 bucks a bottle. Slick packaging. Pro angler endorsements. Nobody needed to ask Earl about his anise bottle anymore. The knowledge just sat there and got quiet. I ran the test 6 separate times before making this video. Pickwick, Lake Okeechobee in Florida, a stretch of the Susquehanna up in Pennsylvania, a reservoir outside Nashville. The numbers weren't always as dramatic as that first test, but the soaked bait won every single time. Channel cats, crappie, even a couple of largemouth I didn't expect. Not once did the plain bait outperform. Not once in 6 trips. The old-timers in the Ozarks used to call it bug juice. The Mississippi Delta guys just called it the secret. Same brown bottle. Same 2.5 bucks. We are living in the craziest era of fishing. There has never been so much technology, so much information thrown onto the internet. And yet a lot of fishermen continue to return home with few catches, frustrated, without understanding why some guys always fill their live wells while they just take pictures of the river. What if the very strategies that even the most experienced anglers don't share publicly are what's missing from your fishing trips? Those invisible adjustments to water reading, spot selection, bait type, and decision-making that don't appear in YouTube videos, but completely change the outcome in practice. That's why the ebook High-Level Fishing was created. A practical, straightforward guide, where you discover the pillars that truly make a difference in fishing and learn to apply, step by step, the same strategies that the most successful anglers use in the water. This isn't just another superficial resource repeating obvious tips. Here you'll truly understand how to think like a high-level fisherman, how to read the environment, choose your spots better, adjust your techniques, and prepare intelligently for each outing, greatly increasing your chances of catching more fish in less time. Download now using the link pinned in the first comment. Please note, this special offer from $19.90 to just $14.92 is available for a limited time only and may be discontinued at any time. The ingredient is anise extract, pure. Not imitation. Check the label. McCormick makes it, Watkins makes it. You'll find it in the baking aisle of any Walmart or Kroger for around $2.49 to $3.50. Small brown bottle. Right next to the vanilla. The compound that does the work is called anethole. And to a channel cat or a blue cat, that compound doesn't just smell like food. It triggers something closer to a hardwired feeding response. Not curiosity, a reaction. Sounds crazy. The science backs it up completely. Here's what's actually happening underwater. Catfish have between 100,000 and 175,000 taste receptors. Not just in their mouths, but all along their barbels, their fins, their skin. They're tasting the water as they swim through it. Their olfactory system detects amino acid concentrations at parts per billion. On a river like the Tennessee or the Missouri, they can lock onto a chemical signal hundreds of yards upstream and start moving toward it. Anethole bonds with those receptors in a way that mimics signals from injured prey. So your bait isn't just sitting on the bottom smelling like food, it's broadcasting something closer to a distress signal. And fish read that as easy prey. Quick comparison. Those amino acid attractant sprays at the tackle shop run $25 to $35 a bottle. The active compounds they're replicating? Organic molecules nearly identical to what anethole delivers naturally. You're buying the same chemistry at 10 times the price. The recipe. 4 steps. What you need. 1 Oz pure anise extract. Not imitation. 1 cup cold water. Optional. 3 garlic cloves worked into a rough paste. Not sliced, paste. A Ziploc bag or a mason jar with a tight lid. Step 1. Mix the anise extract into the water. 1 tablespoon per cup. Don't go stronger. Too concentrated, and it actually repels fish. More is not better here. Step 2. If you're adding garlic, smash the cloves flat and work them into a paste before dropping into the liquid. Maximum surface area. Maximum release. Step 3. Add your bait. Night crawlers, cut shad, chicken liver, dip bait, soft plastics. All of it works. Seal the bag tight. Step 4. Refrigerate for at least 4 hours. Overnight is better. This is the step people skip. Don't skip it. The bait needs time to pull the compound into its tissue, not just coat the outside. Total cost, under $3. Keeps refrigerated for up to a week. One thing Earl told me that I didn't expect. Chicken liver changes when it soaks in anise overnight. The liver releases its own compounds into the liquid, and those combine with the anethole in a way that's different from either ingredient alone. He said that specific combination was the one he kept quiet about the longest. You've got it now. 2 add-ons if you want to push further. Garlic powder, not garlic salt, just the powder, adds sulfur-based compounds that extend the scent trail in cold water. Most effective when temps drop below 60 degrees late fall through early spring on rivers like the Ohio or the upper Mississippi. Sardine oil, 1 tablespoon from a can of sardines works fine, adds amino acids, and creates a surface slick in current that pulls fish in from upstream. The oil floats. That floating trail is what guides them from a distance. Now, why isn't this in every tackle shop? Because it costs $3 and 1 bottle lasts you most of the season. A bottle of ProCure or Berkeley Attractant Spray is $28, If one anise bottle replaces 10 of those over a year, that's $280 in sales, gone for every angler who learns this. They didn't hide it on purpose. They just never had any reason to tell you about it. On the water. Coat the bait right before casting, not an hour before. Scent disperses once it hits air. In still water. Okeechobee, a reservoir, a backwater lake. You're good for about 30 minutes before reapplication. In moving water like the Tennessee, the Missouri, the Susquehanna, every 20 minutes. Best windows for catfish, dawn to 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. to midnight. Crappie respond all day in low-light conditions under structure. One mistake to avoid. Don't let the bait drip when you cast. You don't want it sopping wet. A solid coat is enough. Dripping means you're dumping all the attractor into one spot instead of trailing it through the column. Click now. Secure your access to high-level fishing, and let these strategies start transforming your next fishing trips. The link is in the first pinned comment. When you return from the water applying what you've learned, come back here and comment, "I caught more." That will be your commitment to your evolution in fishing. And perhaps it's exactly the step that separates the stories you hear from the stories you'll start telling. Picture your next trip to Pickwick, or Okeechobee, or wherever you fish. The guys next to you spent $30 on attractant spray before they even launched the boat. You spent $249 at Walmart. 2 hours in, your rod is bending every 15 minutes. One of them finally paddles over and asks what you're using. You hold up the little brown bottle from the baking aisle. That look on his face? Worth every penny. This knowledge didn't come from a lab or a tackle company's R&D department. It came from Earl in Memphis, from the old Cajun guides in the bayou, from every river rat who figured out how to outfish everyone around them with nothing but kitchen staples and attention to detail. The industry didn't bury this intentionally. People just stopped asking the old-timers before it was too late. Subscribe and hit the bell. The next one might be the technique you've been missing your whole fishing life.